What's popping? This is a continuation from last week on LillyPop Originals.
In my Santana voice, that's that flaxseed, okay? Popping my LillyPops, thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. If this is your first time here, the gal is so happy to have you. On this channel, we make inexpensive DIYs to care for natural hair. Caring not only meaning growing in terms of length, although that is a bonus, but overall maintaining the health of this hair. If you want to know at least 7 reasons why your hair is not growing and ultimately how you can reverse these actions, I urge you to keep watching. Reason number 4, you're a clout chaser. I know this is gonna stir the pot up, okay? But honestly, I'm joking by using the term clout chaser, but I'm talking about the people that hop on every single bandwagon. And honestly, I see how this stunts growth and length retention, but I'm not dragging you all in the sense of like when a new hairstyle comes out, you want to try it. It's okay. The versatility, I mean, that's why we're doing this. We're able to do it. Why not? But when you're hopping onto every hairstyle and you have it like as soon as it drops, you don't even know what that hairstyle is going to do for your hair. And I think the most perfect example for this when it comes to the styling end of hair was honestly the lemonade braids, because a lot of people hopped onto the lemonade braids after we saw Beyonce doing them, and she killed it, by the way. A lot of people hopped onto the lemonade braids, and I think that first batch of people honestly came back with, we don't have no edges. It took my edges out, especially when there was that one braid that was like coming forward. You all know what I'm talking about. The one that has the bead on it that be dragging them edges to the ground. Yes, if you actually took the time to let a new trend kind of ride its wave, start seeing some of the negative feedback that comes back, you can make more of an informed decision. This is the same thing for when it comes to hair products as well. You don't have to try every hair product that is out on the market, whether you're just trying it for the sake of trying it. And this is especially for people that are really aiming to be brand ambassadors as well. When you're actually really using these products on your hair, you're just trying everything. Like, you can jack your hair up, and do you really ever take the time to fully recoup because you're on to using the next product or the next thing looks good when you're going down the aisle? That's why I really don't even play with the natural hair aisle when I go into these stores. I know what I'm going for. I do my research at home so that I'm not easily swayed once I actually get to the purchasing block, okay? Yes, I'm calling it the block because making a final decision can be very hard once you're actually in the store and everything has a pretty packaging. And if they have the little try me bottles and you're taking the scents, you want to go home with everything. And then another thing, not to really get too technical, but majority of our testing methodologies are off. When you think about how a researcher actually conducts research, they apply whatever they're doing to their testing subject, and over a predefined period of time, they start to see symptoms and see how things are progressing or how the testing subject is regressing, whatever they're aiming to do. A lot of the time, we don't take the opportunity to do that. We're using a hair product, using it once, like, oh, I'm not feeling that, and on to the next one. You're not even considering that you've been doing X, Y, and Z so long to your hair. Your hair is probably like, oh, what is this? It doesn't know how to react, but you're already canceling things out, or you're already taking things on as your staple, and you haven't even done it for a predefined period of time. Even you all saw in my second to last video, I use my Youre products. My first experience with that product line was great. Is it now my staple? No, because it was a great first experience. I decided that I'm going to use my Youre for a month, and then I can truly feel like I have an informed opinion on what works for my hair. I don't find myself to be a clout chaser when it comes to this natural hair. I do what works for me. Occasionally I try different things, and then, you know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But don't be so quick to hop onto a bandwagon, especially if you don't have the proper processes in place to actually make an informed decision and decide what's right for your hair. Reason number 5, you're overdoing it on the water. I said what I said. Okay, you're overdoing it on the water. Yes, I know the traditional, you need to consume water. It's good for your skin, it's good for your hair, healthy diet helps with hair growth as well. All of that stuff is true. When I'm talking about water, I'm not talking about the oral consumption of water. I'm talking about the way that water is actually applied to your hair. First thing that we're going to touch on is the shampooing. While having a routine is important, excessive shampooing and just excessive manipulation when it comes to wash day altogether cannot be so great for your hair because you're stripping your hair of its natural oils. So yes, as I was referencing before when I was talking about product buildup, like, okay, if you're using all these products and then like, are you washing your hair every day? I would hope not. At least I know there are different races and ethnicities as well that can sustain washing their hair every day. But I know that typically for my natural hair girls out there, natural hair girls out there, the everyday thing is not going to work. You're going to strip your hair of its natural oils, which is going to lead to breakage, and you won't have the length retention, and ultimately you're going to say that your hair is not growing. The second thing with that as well is the styling on wet hair. And I know this can be a bit confusing for people because you also hear that you're not supposed to style on dry hair. And this is why if my hair, and when I say dry, I'm literally talking about like your hair is not wet, not saying that like your hair is dry, like girl, you need some moisture in general. It's okay if your hair is stretched and you use like a spray bottle to apply like a water mist to your hair. That is okay. But especially when it comes to after you go through your entire wash day routine, the people that like to go immediately into styling, that is not something that I recommend, and it is not something that I do. I think so far I've shown 2 wash day videos on my channel. Again, the last one being the Mayel video. And in the Mayel video, right after wash day, I went into styling. That is not something that I typically do. After I'm done with my deep conditioner and I wash that out, I make sure that my hair is detangled, section my hair into 4, and put in either 4 like chunky braids or 4 twists as well. And then the next day I actually go into styling my hair. I don't like styling on damp hair because when your hair is wet, it is actually at its weakest, and you're going to make your hair break if you're doing it, like the pulling with the flat twist and all of this. Don't do that. So what I would recommend in place of styling your hair on damp hair is relaxing after the immediate wash day. So I guess maybe in this case, sometimes wash day probably does extend like 2 days, but that doesn't mean that you're just stuck to being in the house. You can style your hair, put on a little kufi, style your hair, and just wear it like that if you're into that kind of thing as well, to make sure that you're not styling on wet hair and you're not breaking your hair. We want to retain length, okay? Reason number 6 that your hair is not growing and you're not seeing that length retention: you're manipulative. I'm sorry that I have to be the one to tell you this, but you're a manipulative natural. And what I mean is that you manipulate your hair entirely too much. If you're a natural that goes more for the natural look and you do twist outs and braid outs, please understand there is no need to be retwisting and re-braiding your hair every night before you go to sleep. You are putting too much strain on your strands. An alternative to this would be pineappling your hair, which is when you push your hair into an upwards motion and use a headscarf to tie it down, and then you can fluff it out in the morning. You can also try using scrunchies and head ties to put your hair into pigtails and things of this nature, which is very good for rod sets, and then just picking it out in the morning and boom, your style is there. When it comes to the naturals that like chemical processing, I'm talking about my naturals that want that color in their hair. I understand it's fall. Everyone wants that burnt orange, the honey blonde, and let me keep it honest with you all. I have not seen anyone come out on the other side with healthy hair after putting honey blonde in, except Queen Latifah, and I'll wait. This color tears our hair to shreds, especially when you know that within a few months, you're gonna say, oh, I want a jet black, I want burgundy, I want something else. We're in the age where this new hair wax exists that you can apply color to your hair and simply wash it out at wash day. Try these more natural alternatives to putting a chemical on your hair. Then for my naturals that like the heat styling tools, I don't care if the one above himself curated that heat protectant. Heat protectant is not enough for the amount of heat that you are putting on your hair. It is weakening your hair strand. Try to limit the amount of heat that you put on. If you want to claim that your hair is heat trained, please understand that the heat trained also frequently doesn't have a curl pattern. So if you want to preserve your curl pattern, keep mindful. Stop being a handsy Hannah. Keep your hands out of your hair. Commit to wearing your hairstyles for a defined period of time. That's what I do. If I do flat twists, I'm wearing you for a week. Flexi rod sets, I'm taking 5 days to 6 days. Braid outs, 4 days. And then, yeah, I think that's it. So just commit, okay? Last and seventh reason, we're at the home run. We're at home plate right now, okay? Very short and to the point. You are so focused on manageability that you don't understand that you need to make sure that your hair strands need to be strengthened as well. And that strength comes from a protein treatment. While it is important to make sure that you're regularly moisturizing your hair, you have to make sure that your hair strands are strong as well. And in the event that they're a bit damaged, you want to see what you can do to help with reconstruction, and protein treatments are great with doing that. How do you get protein? There are a lot of conditioners out there that have a form of protein in them. Deep conditioners have protein as well. You can make protein treatments at home, which I did with my hibiscus protein treatment, and then I added in a natural form of protein, which is the coconut that I referenced before. Added in a bit of that, and that was the perfect amount of protein for my hair to re-strengthen my hair strands. I know there is this product on the market known as Affigy. Affigy, in my opinion, is a salon grade protein treatment that should be applied by a licensed professional that practices well and knows what they're doing with natural hair. I had an encounter trying this at-home protein treatment, and it ended terribly. Too much protein causes your hair to be dry and brittle and ultimately leads to breakage. And I did this, oh my gosh, almost 6 years ago, and I actually ended up losing like half of my hair. Yes, it was that bad. So you want to make sure that you're strengthening your hair strands, but not overdoing it on the protein, because your hair strands will be dry, brittle, and break off like a stick. I'm telling you, it's terrible. My LillyPops, overall, I hope that you found these 7 tips helpful. I hope that you can share this video with someone else and help them along their journey. I'll be happy to hear in the comments what your hair goals are, if you've considered the tips that I've laid out, or if you have any tips to share with the community as well. It's greatly appreciated. My LillyPops pop off.